Okay. Let me introduce with you our three young entrepreneurs and our panelists. Eden Wilson, give a little wave. Eden is a Chicago Public Schools high school student and special events classroom assistant, as well as a two-time founder, keynote speaker, award-winning tech ambassador. All right, right now her resume is bigger than mine. Keynote speaker, award-winning tech ambassador, course creator, 2023 South by Southwest EDU Student Startup Competition finalist, wow, and the owner of Lemon Nerdy. Let's give her a big round of applause. Jerice Winston, thank you for coming, Jerice, is a Chicago West Side native, manager of CoLab and Male Mogul Initiative, otherwise known as MMI. He's a graduate from there. A Harold Washington College graduate. Jerice is also a clothing brand owner, teaches entrepreneurship at alternative high schools across Chicago, and recently just became a real estate investor, closing on his first investment property. This summer, he'll represent the MMI at the Obama Foundation's My Brother's Keeper event in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Let's welcome him, give him a big round of applause. And Joshua, right to my left, Joshua Marin, is founder and owner of Fix Your Kicks. Joshua opened his first shoe repair shop at the age of 19. Now 3 stores offer leather refurbishing, sole replacement, heel repair, deep cleans, and more. Joshua proudly proclaims he can turn customer sneaker and beaters into heaters. Let's give him a big round of applause. All of you are here today because you started your entrepreneurial journey at a very early age. At what age did you start your business, and how did you get the idea for your business nonprofit? Eden, why don't we start with you?
Okay, so I started my business, my YouTube channel, when I was in 6th grade. I think it was right at the beginning of 2018. And I got the idea for starting it because I had been kind of a mini influencer for my mom, because she is a mom blogger, and of course she blogs about things that her kids do, which is me. And I would do product reviews and things like that, but I was really interested in talking about the things that I loved on my YouTube channel and social media and things like that. And I have my website and my merch, and I've just been really loving being an entrepreneur.
Thank you for that. Jerice.
I first started my business when I was 16, a sophomore in high school. That's when I first started selling T-shirts, and really why I started is because that's what appealed to me the most. It was like, at the time, I was really just into either basketball, arts, or music, so I just feel like that's what appealed to other people around me too, as well. So that's what I did. I just started my own T-shirt brand.
That's great. All right, Joshua.
So my grandfather, they're cobblers. If you don't know what a cobbler is, we fix shoes. So we make shoes as well. But I started when I was 19, carried the family business, and that was just like, hey, I'm gonna fix my homie shoes. I'm gonna fix shoes for everybody. So yeah, that's how I started, 19.
And you're pretty much in the tennis shoe sneaker market, correct? Or you do old men's leather shoes?
Both.
Okay.
But yeah, my father was into the dress shoes, and I kind of took the niche of sneakers, seeing my friends wearing them in high school and my cousins, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna fix my friend's shoes, taking them to my father's shop after school, and yeah.
Thank you for that. So, Jerice, according to your bio, you have a clothing brand, you teach entrepreneurship at high schools around the city, and recently you became a real estate investor. So, do you consider yourself a serial entrepreneur? Yes or no, and kind of explain a little bit.
Yes, I think if you ask me the same question at 16, I say no, obviously. But right now, yes, I would say yes, I am a serial entrepreneur.
Thank you for that. Eden, Lemon Nerdy is such a unique play on words, lemon and nerd. Tell us how this name came about and how the Changemaker Challenge you won from T-Mobile helped your organization.
So I had been begging my mom to start a YouTube channel, and while we were coming up with the name, she was like, "What's something that you like?" And I said lemons, because I love everything lemon flavored. And she said, "What's something that describes you?" And I am a nerd. I'm definitely not ashamed of it. I'm a huge nerd. I love computer science, and I'm really just a nerd about everything that I like. So we put them together to make Lemon Nerdy, and it's kind of become the sort of the mission of my YouTube channel to be a place where anyone can be a nerd about whatever they like, and that it's a safe space for people to explore their different interests. And as my interests evolved towards coding, I started creating coding tutorials, and I created a community of lots of other kids that were really interested in coding, and they weren't afraid to be nerds, and I felt like that was something that really helped a lot of kids to dive more into their interests. And the T-Mobile Changemaker Challenge, that really helped me to develop my business with the capital that I won from that, but also learning how to learn from mentors, to be prepared when I meet with my mentors, take advantage of those opportunities, because having mentors is something that's new for me. When you're an entrepreneur, your boss is yourself. You don't really work with a lot of other people. So I feel like that was a good opportunity to learn how to be prepared when I come to meetings, to ask questions, and take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you, and also work with other people to prepare my pitch, because I'm not an expert at pitching. I definitely needed some help, and it helped me learn to take advice and change things and see what works best to come up with a good product.
Thank you for that. That's great. Joshua, Fix Your Kicks just opened its third location. Big round of applause to you. When you opened your first store in the media dubbed you the Teen Cobbler. Can you tell us the story behind that name?
When I first opened up, I was a teenager, and I had like a journalist come and write an article about me, and she's like, "Hey, you're a teen cobbler. Like, this is what the headliner is going to be." And I'm like, "Hey, by all means." So once the article came out, a couple of news reporters, they shot a couple of segments of me, and they just kept naming me the Teen Cobbler. And I was walking down the street, he'd be like, "Hey, that's the Teen Cobbler," and I'm like, "Well, stick around," and yeah.
That's great. That's great. And you're okay with that still today?
I'm a little bit older now, so it's kind of weird, but it's good though.
Marketing has changed the world of business. Marketing your goods, your services has become more affordable thanks to social media. Can you elaborate on your marketing techniques and which social media platforms is most effective? And Edie, I'm going to start with you.
Well, for me, my main platform is YouTube, so that's pretty effective for me. But one of the marketing techniques that's kind of unique to YouTube is that the fact that it has a separate platform called YouTube Kids. And if you kind of get the attention of the algorithm and the moderators that are behind YouTube, and you make kid-friendly content, then they might choose you to be on YouTube Kids, because it's a very selective platform, because it's only specifically moderated kids videos. And a good marketing technique is just to make sure that you have those kid-friendly videos so that you can end up being on that platform, because there's a lot of kids that are out there that their parents only let them go on YouTube Kids. So it's a very limited audience with a limited amount of content. So it's more likely that your content will be pushed to those kids, because instead of the millions of videos that are on YouTube right now, there's maybe a couple 100,000 that the kids can pick from. So that's been something that's been really helpful to promote my videos, is making sure that my videos are still kid-friendly and they're the highest quality that they can be, so that they're on YouTube Kids. And Instagram is also really helpful. I would suggest using short-form video like Instagram Reels and TikTok to help push your viewers towards your YouTube channel, maybe doing like part 2 on my YouTube channel, or full videos there, because YouTube is better for monetizing than Instagram and TikTok. But Also, word of mouth is really good for promoting your business, especially if you're not really a content creator. Just making those in-person relationships is really important because you want people to see you as a good person and someone that they would vouch for, someone that they would share their content with. Because if you know someone personally, you're much more likely to follow up on something that they ask you to do than if you didn't know them at all. So YouTube Kids, short form video, and word of mouth.
Doris, I see you shaking your head.
Yeah, for sure. So, and first of all, I agree with you, Eden, on that. So it's like what she said, like you have to basically take advantage of the apps and the social media platform that you got. For me, when I first started out, it was basically all of that. It was word of mouth. It was posting on social media apps, and it was basically just networking. For me, it's like I took the organic approach, so it's like people wanted to see authenticity. So it's like I just do something simple as, you know, show a video of me pressing a T-shirt or show a video of me at a pop-up shop. Just simple things like that, it just goes a long way. If you see like what your target audience, what appeals to them and what they like, then it's easier for you to know what you can sell and how you can market your product or service as well.
Thank you for that. So here's a question that everyone that has a small business or wants to start a small business always asks, really regardless of age. Starting a business often takes a lot of startup capital, a lot of money. Tell us how you were able to get your capital to start and scale your business. And Doris, let's start with you.
I kind of took the, like, again, an organic approach to it. I kind of like worked summer jobs and, you know, I just fundraised. It was some opportunities I was given, like, you know, thanks to the Austin Chamber of Commerce, all of my mentors, they basically gave me the exposure to promote my brand. So it was the opportunities like those that I took advantage from, and I just kind of ran with it. It's like once you get a momentum, especially for any brand or any business owner, it's like you have to like keep pushing. You have to like keep marketing. So yeah, that was for me. Yeah, just fundraising.
Thank you. Joshua?
So when I was 19, I didn't have that much money to start my first job. I was like hustling, working with my father, helping him out, saved up some money. I would go to thrift stores, buy shoes, beat up shoes. I would clean them, fix them, sell them on eBay, sell them on like Craigslist or something like that. Back then we used to sell a lot on Craigslist. But yeah, just trying to make some money flipping shoes. Yeah, just going to flea markets, just trying to see what I can find. They'd be like, oh, hey, this is real cheap. I can clean it up, make it look nice, make some money off of it. So that's how I started.
Excellent. Eden, I know it's a little different with the social media, but let's hear your response.
So the unique thing about social media and being a YouTuber is that you don't really need a lot to start. If you're interested in starting a YouTube channel, you could definitely talk to me afterwards, but you don't need a lot of capital depending on what your niche is, but really you just need your cell phone and an editing program. You could really use iMovie or Adobe Premiere Rush, but I didn't need a lot of capital. I had a DSLR camera that was just my family's camera. My family does a lot of content creating, so I had some stuff in the house, but what I really just used was the sunlight from my window. I sat on my couch and just edited on my mom's computer. So that's a unique kind of business model that doesn't need a lot to start. So if you're interested in starting it, it's definitely a good place to begin.
Thank you for that. Doris, you alluded to the Austin Chamber of Commerce. Can you just tell our audience the importance of kind of our local chambers of commerce and how, when you're kind of thinking about opening up a small business or maybe even looking for a storefront, working with the local chambers of commerce who are our partners. We fund many of the chambers across the city of Chicago.
Of course. So thing about chambers of commerce is like they really provide the exposure and opportunity for young entrepreneurs. So for me, it was like I knew I wouldn't like be able to have my own store starting out with my own T-shirt brand. So it was Austin Chamber of Commerce who recommended me to, you know, go to pop-up shops, you know, go to certain expos like this. So it's like when they did that, it's like I kind of saw it as an opportunity again, and I took advantage of it. And that's what they want you to do. That's what they expect you to do. So anybody like whatever, regardless of whatever neighborhood you live in, I would try to get in contact with the chain of commerce over it and just really pitch your idea, your service, and I'm sure they'll be happy to help you.
Thank you. Eden?
I haven't been involved in the Chamber of Commerce, but one of the organizations that I work with is the Chicago City Treasurer's Office. There's somebody here that works at the Treasurer's Office. I don't know where she went, but I think it's really good to work with your local community organizations. I worked with blackdoctor.org, promoting prostate cancer awareness, and I would definitely suggest going to the expos, like he says, taking advantage of opportunities and networking. Definitely use LinkedIn because you can keep track of all your connections really well, and they will automatically see when you have a new accomplishment or something that's relevant to them, and they can help you. So take advantage of those opportunities. Get LinkedIn. Make sure that you're, especially when you're here, just make sure you're networking and talking to people that are interested in the same things as you.
And Joshua, with your stores?
Yeah, Chamber of Commerce, they're like in all your neighborhoods. Each neighborhood has one, I should say. So they're there to help you out and make the neighborhood better. When I first opened up my shops, they would come to me and be like, hey, we know what you're doing, we know who you are, we see you. Let's do a little social media post, let's cut a ribbon. So they're there to help you out. So don't be afraid to reach out because they're there for you.
Help promote you.
Yes.
And also probably help you link with your other neighbors, your other business neighbors.
Yep.
It becomes a little community all across Chicago. Let me ask you this question. Who has been your biggest inspiration or mentor during this journey and why? And Eden, I think I'll start with you.
So one of my biggest inspirations was a woman that I met at Girls Who Code. So I had been doing Girls Who Code in 6th grade, and I was finally able to do the high school summer immersion program my summer before freshman year. And I met this woman named Bree Warren. It was the first time I had ever met a black woman that was a software engineer. And what really inspired me was that she was willing to give back. You don't often meet a lot of women in computer science, and if they do, they might be more reserved, just because the environment of computer science world is really not that friendly to women. And the fact that she was reaching out to us and helping us, she really helped me learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, like web development languages. That really inspired me. I remember when I first met her, right after the session was over, I ran out to the living room and I was like, Mommy, Daddy, I've met a black woman. She's a computer scientist and she works at IBM. And I was just really inspired by her success and her willingness to help me. And just a few months later, during the pandemic, was when I started creating coding tutorials on my YouTube channel. And I was inspired by her willingness to share her passion and her willingness to help me and the other girls in the program, to help the other girls that were younger than me, to inspire them by making them able to see a girl who's just a little bit older than them, but succeeding in computer science and willing to share her passion.
Thank you. Doris?
So for me, my biggest inspiration was my mentor, Walter Mendenhall. And I first met him when I was 16. It was just about before I started my brand. And he came into like my neighborhood community center, and it's like he started an initiative. He told me about an initiative. It's called Male Mogul Initiative. So for those who don't know what that is, Male Mogul Initiative is a program that that transforms the way young men live and lead in their community. So it's like we give young entrepreneurs exposure. We give them the lessons. We give them the tools that they need, that they feel like they need to succeed. So it's like when I first met him and he introduced me to that program, it's like I kind of seen a different side of everything. I started thinking different. I started picking up on certain business lessons, and I kind of like got the opportunity to shadow him. And it's like the business he was doing, I kind of picked up off that, and I just told him I want to learn more, and I just kept doing that. I just stuck to it. So far, he's been like the main motivation for me.
That's great. Thank you.
My biggest mentors was definitely both my grandfather and my father. My grandfather's 91. He's still working at the shop. We come from we're Mexican.
91 and still working at the shop.
Yeah, so
that
we
is
work
impressive.
hard. Yeah, just working hard. See my father work at the shop still, and I'm just like, man, hopefully one day I die in this business too, because they're still going at it, and it's just seeing them do it. It's like anybody can do it, if you just have passion for what you love doing, and just continue to work hard every day.
Thank you for that. And I really appreciate each of your answers, from family to corporate CEO to, I think it's just important as you go out there and network, anyone can be your mentor, maybe your next door neighbor. It could be if you have a part-time job right now, maybe your supervisor or boss. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. In line with the theme of this panel discussion, Youth on the Rise, Next Gen of Business Owners, what advice would you give the youth here today as they start thinking about their own businesses, what they want to start? And Eden, let's start with you.
My advice would be to just have a clear plan and mission of what you want to do, because when you can articulate your passion and your mission and what you want to do with your business, where your goals are, where you want to go, then people will be more inclined to invest in you. They know what you're about. They know that you're passionate about it. And if people know that you're passionate about what you do, they know that you're committed to it and that you're going to see it through. You're going to make it go far, and you're going to take advantage of whatever opportunities they give you. So make sure that you're presenting yourself well, you're presenting your ideas well, and that your presence on social media is something that's appropriate for all audiences, because you never know who's looking at your social media. If your accounts are public, make sure that it's something that my mom says to me is make sure that whatever you're posting on social media is something that you would want your grandma to see, because if your grandma would see it and it's okay with it, then your employers will be okay with it. So yeah, just have a clear mission and make sure that what you're doing is something that you're passionate about, because when people see that you're passionate about it, then they will be passionate about helping you make your vision succeed.
I would say a couple of things. First, consistency. Like, whatever you're doing, like, you got to be consistent with it. You got to stay on top of it. You got to market it. So, consistency. Second thing is belief. You have to have belief in what you're doing and how you go do it. Like Eden said, like, passion is a big part of entrepreneurship. Like, every entrepreneur I know has a passion to do what they're doing. And it's like, it goes a long way. It's not like, some days it might be things or, stuff that don't go your way, but it's like, you have to keep going. You gotta persevere through that. We all got days where we don't want to, feel like getting up and going to school, go to work, whatever it may be. But as an entrepreneur, it never stops. So your belief and your passion it has to be strong. I'm really almost got to be delusional about it. Like, and I say that in a positive way, of course, but it's like you have to have that type of energy about your dream, though, or whatever you want to do.
Thank you for that.
Like the chief of CPS said, it's not who you are, it's who you know, and that has a lot to do with growing and just surrounding yourself around positive people and people who want to keep growing. So don't stop growing, have passion. People see it, as Eden say, people always observe and see that you have passion to grow. I was able to work with Adidas when I first started. Nike shot a video of me. Champion just shot a video of me. So when people see it, like brands see the passion and the interest that you have. So if you have a niche, just keep on pushing it.
Thank you. And I can feel a lot of passion. I really, really appreciate it. And great smiles, by the way, all three of them. I really feel your passion. I really appreciate it. Stella, we're doing okay on time? Okay. So I think at this point, we're going to take questions from the audience. And I think we have a couple BACP staffers who have a mic. You need a couple mics? We can share mics.
Okay.
Up here, if you need another one. So anyone with a question, raise your hand. Stella and team, anyone got a question? Come on, folks. Oh, we got one back in the back row, Stella. Thank you. She's coming.
You have a question?
Yeah.
What was like a big step for you guys? Like, what was like, which one of the major businesses that came to you, and then you was like, yeah, this is it, if that makes sense?
One of the steps where I was like, man, I actually am doing this is when I got my business license at City Hall. I was like, you know what? It's time to do it. Let's work hard, and yeah.
You're supposed to say how helpful those business consultants are down at BACP. No, I'm kidding.
The best.
So for me, it actually came recent. So this past month, we recently got the chance to close on a warehouse, actually not too far from here on 60 in Wentworth. And basically, we call it Collab Initiative, where it's a warehouse where young men, young entrepreneurs in general can come and learn skill-based workshops, can come and develop their own business ideas and skills, and also get insight and expertise from entrepreneurs like myself. So that's what we've been doing. That's how we plan to help the youth, and that's what we plan to do the rest of this year.
Thank you. Eden?
For me, mine was also. For me, mine was also. I don't think it's. Sorry. For me, mine was also pretty recent. What helped me feel like I was really being recognized and I was moving forward was when I was recognized by Microsoft and I was invited to be a content creator ambassador for their annual Microsoft Build conference. And they didn't have any other youth that were speakers, and I got to be the youngest speaker ever at Microsoft Build, just talking about my content creation and giving the perspective of a younger content creator, talking about how I was teaching kids to go code my freshman and sophomore year. And I feel like that really helped build my confidence because I felt like I was being seen, but I was able to network a lot with bigger companies, and I also got to see maybe future careers. Hopefully one day I'll work at Microsoft, but I think that was a really big step because I got to work as an ambassador for a really big company and just see what it's like to be on like a professional business trip. It was one of my first business trips. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Stella? Okay, we have another question in the back.
So I got a question for you right there with the clothing line. So I got a clothing line too, so I wanted to know how you was going to open up your building for your clothing line so you could sell your clothes there.
For sure. So for me, I knew like in order to I knew first in order to get my clothing line to the level I wanted to, I had to produce clothing at a mass level. So I didn't have the equipment at first to do it, and it's like that kind of was hard for me because like as a clothing line owner, a manufacturer is something you really want to be consistent. So it's like first I had to get that down packed before I thought about any store or building. But it was recently when we just closed on our collab building that I knew like, okay, this is a chance for me to not only create, but market my clothing brand at a higher level. So if you, like, whether you want to take the website or a store approach, just know before you have to do that, you got to have your clothing line producing apparel or merchandise at a mass level. Like, that's just the norm now.
Thank you for that.
Hi, thanks for sharing, everyone. I'm a teacher. I'm very inspired by what you're sharing, so just thank you so much for sharing your story. With a room full of high schoolers, what advice would you give for our high school students to leverage their current experience in their classes for entrepreneurship in the future?
Let's see.
Let me ask a question on that. Did you guys have like an entrepreneurial class when you were in high school, or was there like kind of a business or how to start your business class in high school?
We have a business class at my school. I haven't taken it yet because there wasn't room in my schedule, but my school did have this opportunity called the Dolphin Pond because our mascot's the Dolphins. I go to Whitney Young. And it's funded by the Alumni Association, where we had a virtual pitch competition during the pandemic. That's really when I started Lemonade University. It was just an idea at that point, but I pitched my idea and I was able to get $1,000 to start it. So I would say take advantage of opportunities that your alumni present to you. If you have pitch competitions at your school, then make sure that you do those. And also, your teachers aren't just teachers, they have lives outside of school. So if you could talk to your teachers if they have interests that are outside of school, or maybe you're really interested in chemistry or biology and they have people that you can network in those industries, to make sure that you take advantage of those, talk to your teachers, see who they can introduce you to. And just be a resource in your school community. Make sure that your school sees you as somebody that they can come to and you could promote your business to them, and that you're also supporting other entrepreneurs in your school community.
I would say, so first, if you do plan to start a business, I would recommend you do it now. Take advantage early while you guys are young, while you guys are around, your peers, you see them every day. That's kind of how I started.